Welcome to this episode series entitled Walking Out on Purpose. I'm your host, Mike Nazaire, and for the very first time, I'm excited to be able to share this space with you. There are a few things that I'm passionate about: human beings, photography and art/media, and doing my best to serve my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. This podcast will be a diary for myself to document this journey with the world, to not only discuss things openly, but with transparency. But how did we get here to even begin with? Well, walking out on purpose is, I would say, something that has been three years or so in the making, and I never really had a name for it. But this week, I just was sitting down doing some introspection, and the thought of purpose and finding your purpose, that thought just jumped out at me like, wow, what would I name the podcast, or what would the conversations even be about? I know some things that I'm passionate about, but to bring it into a full circle and, make it something that is engaging, something that will be beneficial. Purpose is something that really stuck out to me, because when I'm someone, I love to think about the whole picture, right? It has to make sense for me. I'm a logical type kind of guy. And so for me, I always tend to look at life and what is it saying to me? What is life? How is life serving me at this current time and moment and space that I'm in? And so purpose is a word that kept jumping out. Purpose. And for me, I had to define that. What is purpose? What do I want my life to be known for, right? And what are some of the things that I want to do that makes me happy? And it's funny how life has its ways of teaching you and humbling you. And I believe in God, and I believe that God has his way of guiding you into the right path, into the right avenues for your life, if you are obedient and willing to obey and listen. And this is where walking out on purpose, the title, comes from, right? It's because it's a double entendre, if you would say so. It's the idea about it is walking out on purpose. It is what it is. Walking out on purpose. I'm walking out on purpose. I'm leaving this situation behind on purpose. To me, it can also reflect the idea that I am walking out on purpose, but for purpose. So in essence, I'm walking out on purpose with a purpose to do what it is I am called to. That's the idea that I want this series to be about, right? And so when I think about the people that I want to bring on this show, some of them personal friends, I know for a fact that there are a lot of guys, there are a lot of people that go through the same situation where they're going through a space where they have to figure it out, right? And for me, I feel like this is my space right now. This is where I'm at. And why not bring other people along for the journey? Why not share some of the things that I've learned along the way and that I'm still learning, right? That can help benefit someone or even myself. This is more so a journey about me than it is about helping other people. I think right now we're in the age of podcasts. We're in the age of self-help books. We're in the age of everyone has a 2 cents to give, right? And rightfully so. All of our lives are testaments, right? We all have a testimony that we can somehow share, and it can benefit someone if they truly want to receive what we have to give. But I think that sometimes we can try to take the focus on others when it's really about our testimony, right? It's more so about our testimony. And I think we even see that when it comes to the Bible. The Bible is a book that somehow, some way helps the reader, but at the same time, it's the person giving their account, right? What happened, or depicting someone's testimony and how it can be possibly beneficial to somebody else. And I think that that's the mindset that we should have when we create these podcasts and we create these spaces, is to not so much focus on trying to say a good word or an appealing word that will get listeners to be like ooh and ah, but to really share your testimony, to really share your journey, to really, to make your experience become more relatable to the person that is listening. And that's what I find purpose is. When I try to define purpose, even for myself, purpose for me means that's my purpose. My purpose is to help people to see. That's my ultimate desire, is to live my life in a way that I can help other people to see and to believe in righteousness. And what I mean by righteousness is being good, doing good, living the right way, right? And someone may say, well, that's according to you, or that's according to your belief. Everyone doesn't have the same belief, and that's true. But we all know when something is not right, right? We all know, we all can have an idea to know that you shouldn't steal, you shouldn't do the minimal things. But I say all of that to say the reason why this is such an important thing for me to do is because I know that I am a flawed human being, right? And we all can agree to this, because none of us is so perfect that we are above the law, or we are above doing wrong. And so how is it that someone who is flawed has the desire to teach others, or to be an example for others, teaching them on how to live right, or being that light for others, being that example on how to go about living and being of service. And I think for me, that's the most important thing. I want to be someone that is known for service, right? I want to be a servant for all humanity, not just anyone that looks like me or someone. I want to be that, but I must admit that there are flaws in myself that gets in the way. I must admit that there are biases in me that gets in the way of that. And so that is what this podcast series is about, right? It's finding your purpose. It's walking out on purpose for the sake of your calling. And I'm excited to bring this series about. I'm excited to see what it's gonna bring and how it's gonna help me to grow and be a better person, and how I can go along that journey and hopefully have a great impact on others and my community, because that's my ultimate reasoning for creating this podcast. It's not just to go out there and make it seem like I know it all, but it's to be of service, right? In whichever capacity that I can do that, I want to leave that imprint, so that when all is said and done, I can hopefully look back and say, I served, and I served well. And yeah, man, I pray that you guys will do me that favor and come along for the ride, come along for the journey. This series will be a great challenge for me, but also an opportunity to not only display consistency, but accountability, as I'll be responsible to you guys, my audience, to deliver content that will be engaging, spirit-led, and thought-provoking. So I ask, please stay tuned, because there will be more. I'm bought with the blood. I'm way too electric. My God is a plug. They sent us some hatred. We responded with love. They asked where we got it. It's sent from above. Said we walking in purpose. We walking in purpose now. Said we walking in purpose. Said we walking in purpose now. Hey, who would've told we'd ever make it? A star in animation, we started in the basement. We built it from the pavement, a story in the making. It took some dedication, mixed with a little grace, and had to trust the process. It's been a wait.
fighting